Okay, so, due to exceptional circumstances, we have the presentation from the first project, on a different day. So don't get any ideas, right? This is exceptional circumstances due to her medical condition. Okay, so,
Okay, so I think my project's on the third million goal, which is women empowerment and gender equality. And I think it's a topic very close to my heart because I do show themes of feminism in my work often, and I thought this was a good idea. So my project is called, well, what I think it's called is the Fist of Equality. And well, you guys can come around and look at it if you want. So. So the idea for this came from I was researching on feminism and trying to find out reference symbols, and the fist was quite. I kept seeing the fist in a lot of feminism symbols and Black feminism and different types of feminist groups out there. So I thought I should use the fist for to actually promote that aspect. I honestly wasn't going to cost it because it's completely new territory. I was just going to make a wire fist, but then. I was looking online and then I figured casting maybe wasn't a bad idea. It'd be completely different. So I actually bought a baby casting kit. It's made from alginate and casting powder mixture. It was quite difficult to make, but I think it worked well in the end. And I used my own fist to cast. It shows a lot of detail. The sides, you can see it's actually it's pretty well done. This. Also, for the original. Structure, I would want it to be marble, because marble is pure. It's a celebrated kind of substance because when people make a structure of marble, they make it with pride and some sort of accomplishment. So that's what I want to do for this as well. And also marble has these qualities where, for example, if ever there is sun in London, it will actually refract. So it kind of gives it that the more humane look in it. It makes it look more like a hand because of its qualities. The handcuffs are because, according to me, women have been suppressed for decades and decades, ever since, mankind, and that's why I feel that it's time to break the hold and break those limitations we have, and that's what the cuffs represent. I actually got inspired by this to cast this from Rachel Whiteread, which she was. I learned about her in my research and writing methods class, and then she did a lot of casting work, and she was quite into it. So I figured, maybe I should go dip my hands into it and see what it's actually like. And I actually really enjoyed the process. It was fun to make, quite really messy actually, but I think the work paid off in the end. The text is here, and it reads. No one to wipe our tears, no one to hear us cry. It's time to break the cuffs of abuse and pain and rise above. Again, it's for symbolizing feminism and how, I think the women of today aren't like the women of yesterday, and that's exactly what's happening. We're kind of like slowly in the process of breaking those cuffs and, going towards a better future, I guess. So that's what my project's about.
Where did you get the text for?
Oh, I made it.
You wrote it.
I wrote it.
Okay. And on the plinth, would it, how would it be? I mean, there it looks like it's handwritten. Would it be handwritten carved into the plinth or what?
It would be carved into the plinth, like it would be stone,
Right.
as a base with it, and it would be carved in.
Okay.
But
So it's this piece then that fits on the front of the plinth,
and
carved.
in.
Right. Which is not-
Also, the size would be about the same size as the plinth, so that's the proportion of it.
Right, so the proportions basically as it's shown. And the cuffs would be made of
Steel.
metal, steel? Uh-huh.
Because, well, I know it rains a lot in London, we don't want the rusting on everyone. Also, another thing I thought of was the closing ceremony. I honestly, the artist, would come and literally break the cuffs because that's the purpose of this whole project. So, for the given period of time, the cuffs will be on the wrist, but on the last day, the artist will come and break the cuffs. So, just the fist by itself.
How would the viewer know that this is about feminism as opposed to any other sort of oppression? Or does it, I mean, cause you're saying it's very much about feminism, okay, so, I mean, okay, it's a female fist,
Mhm.
but that female could be a victim of torture, or, could be directly related to a particular ethnicity or nationality, or, I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, how would anybody know that it's actually about feminism, or does it matter?
I don't think it does. I think I'm gonna leave it up to people to actually figure it out or kind of have their own interpretations. If they really are trying to know, then well, they can definitely go up and look it up. But then again, I think I want to leave it to people. I don't want to say this is a feminist piece or this is for this and this. I
So
think
it's really,
correct.
so maybe it's more about oppression in general?
Yeah, because well, according to me in society and people, women have been suppressed. So
Oh, yeah, no, there's no doubt about
there's a lot of
that.
that. But so yeah, I mean.
And you can thank the women of the 60s for making a difference, folks.
Sorry.
No, it's true. I
It
mean,
is,
you
yeah,
know,
of
and you
course it is.
go back to suffragettes, everything else. I mean,
And there's a lot of, there's tons of information and conferences going on about feminism and about new feminism and post-feminism and everything else. Cause to
Black
some people,
feminism and everything.
yeah, but to some people right now, I mean, feminism's a dirty word, and hold on a minute, I mean, what you really gotta get into is how you're defining feminism.
Well, feminism doesn't mean women are the best thing ever, and help with the men. That's not what feminism is. Just basically, feminism just means we want women to kind of, rise, and then we want this balance between the
Equality.
sexes. That's what it's about. Because
It's the bottom line.
people think if you're a feminist, you're probably, a dyke, and then all the other women, whatever, But that's not what it is. It's really misinterpreted today.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta define it in the first place. But I think if people defined it as wanting equality,
Then it'd be a whole
then I mean,
different
who's gonna
story.
disagree? Who's gonna disagree with? Well,
Mhm.
some men might disagree with you. Little joke, not even a joke.
So, what do other people, I mean, I guess my point though is that, it comes across as a piece about oppression,
Mhm.
fighting oppression as opposed to the oppression of in relationship to feminism, just because there's no necessary, there's no specific reference to feminism unless, one reads the artist statement and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's fine, just be aware that that's how it would be interpreted. The alginate gives you a very detailed, I mean, that
That's what I loved about it
version.
actually because,
Yeah.
basically when it came out it was pink and I was like, okay, so it'll be a pink fist. I could work with that, I guess. I was gonna paint it metallic but then again, I thought keeping it white would be better. And the detail actually surprisingly was so precise. I mean,
Well,
it kinda
and
shocked
that
me.
is why people use alginate, and that's why I was saying about the teeth, that's what is used a lot of times for the tooth impression.
How does it work?
Yeah, what is the process for making
Okay,
the?
so basically, we have a mold. We have alginate powder. Alginate powder, you put, I think, is it half and half? You put, you mix into a bowl, and this stuff dries really fast. You know, like because I failed the first time. You put hot water, and right there we're mixing it, and it became rubber. And I said, okay, we have one more try, and that's all I have. And we did really fast. We mix it, and we keep adding water, and you keep mixing it really fast until it's like this well, yeah, more solid, less liquid kind of mixture. You pour it quickly into the mixing bowl, and then you just put your fist or whatever you want to mold inside it. Keep it there for say 5 minutes, and well, mine was, I think it was fast drying alginate, so you know within 5 minutes it was hard, and then just pull your fist out or whatever, and then it stays. And then after that, you just mix the caustic powder, which is again half and half, which is 1 part caustic powder, 1 part water, and then it should be liquidish, a little more liquid than solid, and you pour it inside, and you just leave it overnight, and then give it hours, or the next day you just go and start peeling off the alginate. It's rubber, so you start cutting it off, and then you see the cost figure over there.
So they sell it, like if you wanna cast your baby's feet,
Yeah,
because they're so little and sweet, it's that sort of thing.
This is the
No.
baby casting kit, by the way, just saying.
Yeah.
So
Or you can, I mean, sculptors use it all the time, you
Mhm.
can buy it in much, much bigger
quantities, yeah.
quantities and such, but it picks up all the detail, it's very fine. That's what's so wonderful about it, and it doesn't wreck your skin
Oh, it
and
does.
things like
Oh,
that.
It's fantastic.
So
How
it's a
much-
big
how
rubber,
much is
so
it?
like you don't get like stuck in it.
No, it doesn't, because it sets around you, just like stick to you. So like, well, when I put my fists inside, I was supposed to open my hand up and like, you know, let the air bubbles kind of like set in, and then move my hand a bit to kind of like get that space. Otherwise I would pluck the whole thing out, but you're supposed to like kind of give yourself space before it really dries out properly.
You didn't put petroleum jelly on your hand before you put
No, I just put it dry. It's like it doesn't even matter. Like it won't really stick. You just have to kind of make a space around the mixture. And also, the one mistake we had was we had to keep shaking it because air bubbles keep forming. And when I was done with it, we had a mass amount of air bubbles. You know, I have pictures of it. And literally had to sit and I carve. I had to sit and saw the base. I had to sit and like carve all the air bubbles out. So I think I did a pretty good job. There aren't any left. But yeah, it was really a long process to like sit and groom it up a bit.
Well, I mean, these things do take time, but
They do.
And the more you do it, the better you get and work out the things. Because one of the things you have to watch when you're casting parts of a body, because a lot of times plaster is used, it starts to shrink, of course, and you can, if you don't know what you're doing, you can cause gangrene on somebody's hand or something like that if you're not careful, if it stays in too long. Whereas this stuff, you don't have, that possibility doesn't exist because of the nature of the material.
That's why I use alginate, because it was
Yeah,
easier
it's
to
a
work
much-
with. Well, I mean, mothers use it for babies, so you know how hard can it be? So yeah. So also if you want to buy, I got it from a company called Baby Rice, and it's 17 pounds for the package. So like I think you can make about say 6 little baby hands. So I'm guessing it's 2 of my hands. So
But if you if you wanted to do a lot of it, you would buy a much bigger quantity from a sculpture supply place.
for that you should go to Taranti.
Yeah, Taranti's
yeah.
the place. But it is the thing that gives you very specific detail and
Mhm.
such. What about the mix of material in terms of, okay, so that would be a white marble. I mean, that's what that Allison Lapper was a white marble, wasn't it? With this steel. Nice contrast. So it would be that sort of size. So those cuffs are massive, aren't they?
I think you know people can actually interact with them because if they fall right to the floor, you know you see people can actually go,
Yeah.
you know, like have some kind of contact with them. So
Yeah.
it kind of like gives it a more, I don't know, I think personal touch. If people can actually like you know go and like be right up close with it.
So when at the end, the last day when you open the cuffs, how are you gonna do it? Are you gonna get a giant key to open up the cuffs, or are you gonna get a saw and cut them off, or are you gonna?
I haven't really thought about that actually. That's a good question. Well, I could actually just like take a key and open it up. It would be more fun if I actually get a saw, because that will be more entertaining for everyone else, I guess. But yeah, I think probably would go and like literally like cut it off. I wouldn't take a key and be like, okay, here we go, we're done. Or wait, I take a saw and just like, you know, kill it. So yeah, it would be more fun.
But it's probably also related conceptually in terms of, you know, a key in essence, I mean, a key is symbolic, but it's also a relatively easy way to get the cuff off. Whereas having to saw is a much more, a physical, you know, it takes a lot more, yeah, and so I
Power,
think
and
it's
exactly so.
the
The
symbolic
struggle, it's the struggle of trying to get it
representation
off.
of all of this stuff. That's what ought to determine how it comes off. I would have thought. I mean, the entertainment factor, okay, that's, you take that into consideration, but I think you'd probably put the conceptual ahead of that.
It does fit with the whole, you know, women are being oppressed, you know, okay, let's break this struggle and actually like take and literally like breaking it off physically. That would fit more with my piece, so
Yeah.
it does fit in.
So adds a performance
Mm-hmm.
element to it. Could take days to get through that
Yeah, probably. But,
stainless.
also,
steel.
I'm pretty sure the feminists will be happy having a little parade, you know, yay. So
Oh, that might be part of it. You organize a big, well, or some kind of big
maybe have a performance or something. And
celebration
then, you know,
or whatever you wanna call it at Trafalgar Square. I mean, Trafalgar Square historically is a place where rallies happen and protests happen and people gather for that sort of thing, so.
Mhm.
It'd also be interesting who takes it off, who saws it
The
off.
artist.
You?
Okay.
You wouldn't want like a lot of people to come in and help you break the chain.
Oh, they definitely can, but in the end, I wanna, well,
Or a man or
Really take it
something.
off. why I'm not strong enough.
No, I'm just saying a man wanting to do something for.
That'd be fine too, but like the last like literally breaking in is like taking it off. That would be the artist. I honestly would be fine because people want to come and you know. The only thing is if they come, they might actually damage the piece. That's the thing, you know, because you know people get really so into it, they might actually come and you know might actually damage the piece. That's what I don't want.
Well, does it matter if it gets like a little like dinged up? It's the last day.
The hand.
But it's
yeah,
marble.
It is. It's marble. It's,
But no, but what I
It's
mean
not
is
like
it's
that.
marble and
It's
they
not like-
probably,
Not break.
they probably not
Just like
be able to wreck
Put
it.
it on a sledgehammer.
But even if it does get damaged up, I mean, that could also symbolize the
Struggle.
damage that's been done and the
could be.
struggle.
I'll contemplate on that.
But you could actually, I mean, in terms of things like publicity and such, you could actually use it as a huge PR publicity number in terms of getting all these people involved in cutting off this cuff. You know, and in terms of getting the word out there, you know, onto the news and the papers,
Or
all that kind of stuff.
something I could
Probably
just,
be
like-
smart to get a hell of a lot of people
I
involved.
actually can just you know make last like little charity thing. Like if you want to come and like break the cuffs, you know you pay this much money, you get a T-shirt, you can come and like join the team, help break the cuffs off, and then you know help raise money for like I don't know, women like or like you know, or like orphans and stuff like that. So really could go to a cause again
Yeah.
for female children, females.
Great. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you
Well,
very
thank you
much.
for coming.
Okay,